Hello Kian, how are you?
Good to see you.
Long time no see, how's everything?
Good, a bit busy, but all good.
Nice to have coffee with you today. So are you drinking Arabica coffee or Malaysian coffee?
Actually Arabica, I do like my black.
Okay. Now Ken, I want to ask you a question about how do you get into this business? Now, first thing first, what do you remember of your childhood memories in terms of recycling?
Actually, that's an interesting part because I can combine two in one.
Okay.
For me, rather than choosing recycling, I was born in a recycler's family. So I do have a lot of childhood memory. At the young age of 10, I'll be following my parents to collect recyclable from household to household. So all the beri surat khabar lama, bio newspaper, our family really started from there. To my parents, it was actually very hard for them because they feel very ashamed being recycler. To me, it was really fun. Because fun in the sense that I could actually see recyclable, how we can actually make a living out of recyclable or out of sampah, if you will. So I think for me, that has been a great learning because it kind of teaches us to see the worth inside recyclable when other people only see scrap. Right. So as a childhood, I was being laughed at, but for me, I felt very proud internally because I can help to contribute to the household. And not sure whether I mentioned to you before that growing up, my parents always want two things from us. Number one, never become a recycler. Number two, get a degree. Right. And those things, to me, it have very big profound to us. So that among the siblings, we did get our degree, but today all of us are recyclers.
Right. Now, Heng Hiap was given the first in the world certification by United Nations, I think towards the end of last year for the sea-bound plastics. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, we noticed one thing that's very interesting about 3 years ago, in 2019, right before pandemic, there was a lot of talk about marine pollution, plastic pollution, and then this gloomy, situation that we do not know what to do with our plastic. So then we decided, the whole team decided to get together to think that, hey, what are we going to do about this? Because of this negative publicity, and it is a fact that marine pollution is very bad for the environment. Consumers globally are rejecting plastic. And that is, to us, a very big signal that something is changing. So our entire team got together, and then we start to say that, hey, what should we do? And the idea of Ocean Bound come to us and say that maybe we should mobilize our people, our team, working with local communities to collect this ocean plastic. And then from this ocean plastic, we then make into exciting products. And then, with that, we can actually get ourselves certified. And at the same time, there is this new certification, new framework, or new standard that happens. It's called Zero Plastic Ocean. And then it was a very, very difficult methodology and framework to follow. But our team managed to work together and make that happen, and we become the first in the world to be certified with this ocean-bound plastic, following the United Nations Protocol on Ocean-Bound Plastic Collection.
Right. Now, you mentioned just now about growing up and helping your parents. Now, I was informed that you are now working with like 28,000 entities in this business of recycling. Right. Maybe you can expand a little bit about that.
Can. I mean, my experience is that I work from a curbside collectors, a mobile collectors, yard owner, processor, and aggregator. So in my experience in working through this, we know the challenges going from one to the other. There's no standard for us to follow. The technology wasn't there. So it's very difficult to make high quality plastic material at that time. So with the engineering training, what is good is that it teaches me, how to use engineering skills and technology to extract all this value out. So what happens right now is that we now work with 28,000 independent, recycler. And with this, we create the same playbook for the entire industry to follow that so that as the material are being collected, moving up through the chain, we are able to customize very high quality, very niche product that we can make from there.
Right. Now, you mentioned just now when you were young, you like helping your parents, but they probably don't see it as a career moving forward, right? So now you're working with 28,000 entities. So I think that will be maybe more than 28,000 people. So what are you trying to do here? What's your vision moving forward?
I think what our vision we are trying to do is that we try to create a unique solution to solve plastic recycling challenges or plastic pollution in Malaysia. So what we are trying to do here is to unite all these 28,000 to become a very dynamic infrastructure, if you will, through digitalization. So we're going to digitalize the 28,000 together. We're going to coordinate the uncoordinated 28,000 together. And from this, we then create a very vibrant system to collect the plastic scrap, to make it into very high value material, and so that we can export that. So essentially what happens here is that we want to create a plastic recycling industry, a plastic recycling solution for developing country here in Malaysia, so that we recycle our own plastic scrap, and then so that we can continue to live in a plastic neutral society. So that's what we are trying to do here.
Right. So moving forward, I think being the first company in the world to receive certification for United Nations for ocean-bound plastic, so you are carrying the Malaysian flag. How do you feel?
I feel very proud of my team. Yeah, that I cannot do all this alone.
Right.
And over the 19 and a half years, we managed to assemble, a team of believers that believe that we can make an impact in here, right. That we can collect, we can create a very unique solution in collecting ocean plastic to make into very interesting and very, very cool products. At the same time, we can provide jobs to 28,000 independent recycling operators. And at the same time, for example, HHI right now, we export 70%, up to 70% of our product to 38 different countries, all using our Malaysian plastic scrap.
Now, I was told the chair here is from ocean-bound plastic, and this is something that you all researched ground up. Maybe you want to say something about it?
This is an interesting project, actually. So this is we call Louvre Chair. We collect plastic scrap from Pulau Tioman. Right. You know how beautiful it is. And then we collect that ocean plastic chair, and then we convert it into a very high niche, high quality material. This design in the past needs to be made in steel chair, but we use plastic, so that when we use plastic, this is good enough for us to create a material that is strong enough to make this. We convert it into this material, and this color that we call living coral, which is the Pantone color of the year in 2019, simply because it brings the ocean preservation out. And then after that, we work with the company that provide this material, and we show the entire traceability. So this chair basically almost come with a digital certification that shows the entire birthplace. So it is done by a Dutch designer, and then right now we export this around the world. So this has been just one of the products that we are talking about. So on ocean plastic, even this one here, this glasses here that you can see is actually also made from ocean plastic.
Right.
Yeah. So that's so there's a lot of things that we can do here. Pretty interesting.
So going back to your childhood, how are your parents now? How do they see you?
I think now they feel very very proud as well. They start to see that the world has changed, and they start to see the meaning in the action that they're doing. Right. In the past, my parents feel very ashamed that it's a dirty job, it's smelly, and it's not glamorous. And now they see past that and they start to see the relevance that we actually are given a chance to restore the environment, for the next generation to come. So they start to feel a lot more proud, and then they now actually are the one who want to learn more.
Okay, Kian, now you were mentioning when you were young, your parents wouldn't want you to be in a recycling business, right? And now you are actually, already the first company in the world to be given by United Nations certification. So how are they now? How do they see you? And what is their, how do you describe their feeling for your business now?
I think they feel proud, they feel relief, and they feel hopeful. When they first started out, they always think that, hey, this is a very dirty, very smelly affair that the society will look down on. And it was my fear as well. If all recyclers in the world telling their children that, hey, don't join recycling, how would this, industry flourish? It won't.
A little bit on the technology. Of course, when we talk about surat khabar lama, people don't see the technology, right? Now you are doing the first thing in the first technology in the world for ocean-bound plastic. So maybe a little bit on what is the technology behind this, and and how do you think moving forward? What are you going to do?
For technology, I mean, in a nutshell, there are different ways that we can recycle plastic. One way is that we can go through mechanical recycling, that we can create, just like the product that we have shown you, very, very niche, very, very high quality. We can add in special function, antibacterial, fire retardant, stuff like that. So that's one way for us to do it. We can make it so good, so clean that we can use it for toy grade. And then, for toy grade, for cosmetic packaging. And then we also, in some sense, situation, are able to make it food grade. So we can make it back to food grade again. Now, that's one way that we are doing it. The other way that we are doing it is what we call chemical recycling, that we convert plastic scrap back to naphtha-like type of raw material. And from there, we can make into new virgin material again. So essentially, it can help us to ensure, this plastic being used again, and again. And all of that source actually come from plastic scrap that's already on the surface of the earth. Right. So on one way, we clean up the earth. On the other way, we're providing jobs. And the other way is that we can continue to live in this plastic neutral society without putting too much or relying too much burden on fossil-based raw material.
Right. So you buy Malaysian plastics. These are not imported plastics. You develop technology. Your team are Malaysians, right? And your recyclers are, of course, Malaysians. So I think that shows something, right? I mean, there is always the possibility and the potential of the Malaysians to develop world-class technology.
Yeah, I think 100%. I think the Malaysian content is a very unique content in this case. Right. We develop the technologies, locally developed technologies, with Malaysian capabilities, and then we find with partners to make all these things possible. When we look into plastic recycling, we think that the highest value of plastic scrap comes from Malaysia. Why? Because when we collect from Malaysia, we can then identify where's the source. We're cleaning up our own waste, and then we can track the entire ESG, impact behind that. So with that, everything starts to fall into places together. For import of scrap, that's not something that we believe in, simply because when it's imported, we do not know about the quality, we do not know about the source, and so in order to build a ESG from imported scrap is almost impossible. So back to what we are trying to do is that we always focus within Malaysia. So I think, we are a country, we're not big, we're not small. So we shouldn't be too loud, and nor should we be too quiet either. So when it's time for us to share some of our novel solution or novel innovation, we should make it work, show that it works here in Malaysia, and perhaps share it with the region or the world.
Okay, thank you very much. Quite a lot of information after 2 years of not seeing you. So congratulations, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.